Hello, inner shifters, how you doing? Your host, Sophia here. You know that groggy, disoriented feeling when your alarm yanks you out of a dream in the middle of the night? Like you've been pulled off stage mid-performance? That's because you were. Every night, your body performs an intricate four-act play called sleep. And each act has a starring role in making you healthier, smarter, and more emotionally resilient. Let me tell you why understanding REM and non-REM sleep isn't just science. It's the ultimate act of self-care. I learned this the hard way during my college all-nighter era. Fueled by energy drinks and youthful arrogance, I'd cram until 3 a.m., pass out, and wake up feeling like my brain had been through a blender. Then one morning, after blanking on an exam I'd studied for, my neuroscience professor dropped a truth bomb. You're not forgetting because you didn't study. You're forgetting because you didn't sleep. Turns out those quiet hours when we think we're just resting are actually a backstage frenzy of memory consolidation, emotional processing, and cellular renovation. Here's the magic your body performs while you're asleep. Act 1, non-REM Stage 1, the overture. Your muscles relax, your breathing slows, and your brain waves start syncing like orchestra members tuning their instruments. This light sleep is where you're most likely to jerk awake thinking you're falling. Fun fact. It's called a hypnic jerk, and even scientists debate why we evolved this bizarre feature. Act 2, non-REM Stage 2, the deep rehearsal. Your body temperature drops, your heart rate steadies, and your brain starts filing away the day's memories like a meticulous librarian. This is when your brain's glymphatic system, essentially a nighttime janitorial crew, flushes out toxins linked to Alzheimer's. A 2013 study in Science found this waste removal works 10 times faster during sleep than wakefulness. Then comes Act 3, non-REM Stage 3, the headliner. Slow-wave sleep, where growth hormone floods your system, repairing muscles and strengthening immunity. My friend Mark, a physical therapist, once rehabbed a client who plateaued for weeks. Until they prioritized this stage. 3 nights of uninterrupted deep sleep did more for her recovery than 2 weeks of PT, he told me. It's also when your brain moves facts from short-term to long-term storage. That Spanish vocabulary you drilled, it's now being hardwired into neural pathways. But the real showstopper, Act 4 REM, where dreams take center stage. Your eyes dart behind closed lids, hence rapid eye movement. Your body becomes paralyzed, a brilliant evolutionary feature preventing you from acting out dreams. And your brain becomes more active than when you're awake. This is your emotional reset button. A time when your mind processes trauma, problem solves, and even boosts creativity. Ever wake up with a eureka solution? Thank REM sleep. Salvador Dali deliberately napped with a key in his hand to capture ideas from this twilight zone between sleep and wakefulness. Here, where it gets personal, I used to wear my ability to function on 5 hours of sleep like a badge of honor. Then I met a sleep researcher who studied elite athletes. We've measured it, she said. 1 night of poor REM sleep can drop reaction times by 30%, equivalent to being legally drunk. Suddenly, my 2 a.m. Netflix binges felt less like me time and more like self-sabotage. The kicker, these cycles repeat every 90 minutes like a perfectly choreographed dance. Interrupt 1. Say with a blaring alarm during deep sleep. And you're not just losing rest. You're cutting short your brain's nightly therapy session, your body's repair shift, your creativity incubator. So tonight, when you're tempted to trade sleep for scrolling, remember, you're not just a passive sleeper. You're the director of a nightly revival that determines how you'll show up tomorrow. How you'll love, create, heal, and remember. Tuck yourself in like the masterpiece in progress you are. You know that magical feeling when you wake up just before your alarm, sunlight streaming through the curtains, feeling like you actually want to get out of bed? That's not luck. That's your circadian rhythm conducting your biology like a maestro. And melatonin, it's the gentle stage manager dimming the lights when the show's over. These aren't just scientific terms. They're your body's oldest wisdom, hardwired over millions of years of evolution. And right now, in our world of screens and sleeplessness, we're conducting a mutiny against them. Let me tell you about my rock bottom with sleep. 2 years ago, I was the poster child for modern burnout. Working late under blue light, chugging coffee at 4 p.m., then lying awake at midnight staring at the ceiling like it owed me money. My turning point came during a red-eye flight when I watched a documentary about the Hadza tribe of Tanzania, one of the last hunter-gatherer societies. They don't have clocks, alarms, or melatonin gummies. They wake with the sun and sleep when it's dark. Researchers found their melatonin levels begin rising 2 hours before sunset. Their bodies naturally syncing with Earth's rotation. Meanwhile, I was treating my own rhythm like a broken vending machine, jamming buttons until something came out. Here, what I wish someone had explained to me earlier. Melatonin isn't just a sleep hormone you pop like a vitamin. It's the chemical expression of darkness. Produced by the pea-sized pineal gland in your brain, it's essentially your body's way of saying, "Hey dummy, it's nighttime." But here the catch. It's not an instant knockout pill. Think of it more like a biological dimmer switch that gradually lowers the curtain on wakefulness. A 2019 Harvard study found that blue light from screens can suppress melatonin production by 50%. Which explains why scrolling Instagram at midnight feels like pouring espresso on your pineal gland. But melatonin is just one player in the circadian orchestra. Your body has trillions of cellular clocks. In your liver, gut, even your fat cells. All taking cues from a master clock in your brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. Try saying that 3 times fast. This isn't just about sleep. It governs everything from when you crave sugar, 3 p.m. slump, to how well your medications work. Blood pressure drugs are 40% more effective when taken at the right circadian time, per a 2021 Nature study. I learned this power the hard way when my night owl friend Jake, a chef who worked until 2 a.m., developed prediabetes. His doctor didn't just prescribe diet changes. She told him to eat breakfast within an hour of waking, even if that was noon. Your pancreas has business hours, she said. Within months, his blood sugar stabilized. His secret, aligning his meals with daylight even if his schedule could. The craziest part, your circadian rhythm is older than trees. Cyanobacteria, tiny ocean organisms, developed circadian clocks 5 billion years ago to sync with tidal rhythms. That means your cells are dancing to a beat that predates dinosaurs. Yet we override this ancient wisdom daily with artificial light, erratic meals, and revenge bedtime procrastination, staying up late to reclaim personal time. No wonder 1 in 3 adults is sleep-deprived. But here's the hopeful part, your body wants to find its rhythm again. My proof, a retired nurse who took up gardening and found her lifelong insomnia vanished. It turns out, she laughed, getting dirt under my nails was better than Ambien. She accidentally done what scientists call grounding, syncing her clock to natural light and soil microbes. A 2022 study in Chronobiology International found that just 30 minutes of morning sunlight can reset wayward circadian rhythms better than any supplement. So tonight, when you're tempted to binge one more episode or answer just one email, imagine your cells whispering, "We remember starlight. We remember campfires. Let us work with time, not against it." Try this 90 minutes before bed, dim the lights, and do something analog. Knit, journal, slow dance with your partner. You're not just unwinding, you're lowering the curtain the way your biology expects. Your circadian rhythm isn't a schedule to follow. It's a song you've been humming since before you were born. Tonight, let yourself finally listen. You know that moment when you're staring at a textbook, rereading the same paragraph for the 10th time, your brain feeling like overcooked spaghetti? Yeah, I've been there too. Especially in college when I used to pull all-nighters, convinced that more hours staring at notes meant more learning. Then one morning, after a particularly brutal cram session, I blanked on my exam completely. But here's the kicker, my roommate who'd gone to bed at 10 p.m. aced it. When I asked her secret, she just shrugged and said, "I let my brain do the work while I slept." It turns out she wasn't just well-rested. She was scientifically savvy. Here's the revolutionary truth about learning that no one tells you. Your brain doesn't just store memories while you sleep. It upgrades them. Think of your hippocampus, your brain's memory center, like a librarian working the night shift. While you're asleep, it's not just shelving books. It's cross-referencing them, adding footnotes, and even burning some useless ones, like that random song lyric from 2007 that still lives rent-free in your head. A groundbreaking 2021 study in Nature Neuroscience found that during deep sleep, your brain replays new memories at 20x speed, literally practicing what you learned that day. I witnessed this magic firsthand with my nephew when he was learning to play guitar. He'd practice a chord progression before bed, struggle through it, then wake up playing it smoother. At first, I thought he was sneaking in extra practice. Until I learned about sleep spindles, bursts of brain activity during stage 2 sleep that act like a save button for motor skills. A Harvard study found that people who learned a piano sequence and then slept showed 20% improvement overnight, without additional practice. Meanwhile, the sleep-deprived group, they not only failed to improve but lost skills they'd gained the day before. But here, where it gets wild, sleep doesn't just strengthen memories, it curates them. During REM sleep, the dream phase, your brain performs emotional triage. My friend Sarah, a therapist, calls this overnight therapy. After traumatic experiences, her patients who get quality REM sleep process events better than those who do. Research from UC Berkeley confirms this. REM sleep dials down stress chemicals while reactivating memories in a safe mode, helping strip away their emotional charge. That's why you might wake up thinking that problem doesn't feel so impossible today. And for all the language learners out there, sleep is your stealthy tutor. A 2019 study in psychological science had participants learn fake words like forensic, meaning ocean. Those who slept between lessons could recall 25% more words than those who stayed awake. Your brain isn't just memorizing. It's detecting patterns, building grammar rules, and even guessing meanings, all while you're blissfully dreaming about flying whales or showing up to school naked. Here's my favorite proof of sleep's genius, the Tetris effect. When researchers had people play Tetris before bed, their brains kept playing during sleep. But with a twist. They weren't just replaying the game, they were optimizing strategies. I saw this with my chess-obsessed cousin who kept losing to the same opening move, until he dreamed about the board and woke up with the counter moves. So next time you're tempted to sacrifice sleep for productivity, remember, you're not skipping rest. You're skipping your brain's most creative work shift. That presentation you're rehearsing, your sleeping brain is rewriting it to flow better. That problem you can't solve, your dreams are connecting dots you didn't know existed. Even Einstein credited his theory of relativity to a dream about riding a light beam. Tonight, when you tuck yourself in, imagine your brain whispering, "Don't worry, I've got the night shift." Then close your eyes and let your most brilliant employee get to work. You know that foggy hangover without the fun feeling after a terrible night's sleep? When your coffee tastes like sadness and your patience is thinner than your last paycheck? Yeah, we've all been there. But here's what no one warns you. When you shortchange your sleep, you're not just borrowing energy from tomorrow. You're taking out a high-interest loan on your entire body. And the collectors, they come for your waistline, your mood, and your brain cells. Let me tell you about my rock bottom with sleep deprivation. 2 years ago, I was juggling a startup, a side hustle, and what I optimistically called a social life. I averaged 5 hours of sleep, proud of my ability to function on fumes. Then my body sent me an invoice. I gained 15 pounds despite eating clean, developed the emotional resilience of a toddler mid-tantrum, and once cried because my avocado wasn't ripe enough, ripped my dignity. My doctor didn't just suggest more sleep. She showed me a University of Chicago study proving that 4 nights of poor sleep makes your body process fat like a pre-diabetic person. Suddenly, my 2 a.m. productive binges felt less impressive. Here's the metabolic mutiny that happens when you skimp on sleep. Your cortisol, the stress hormone, spikes, telling your body to hoard belly fat like doomsday preppers stockpile canned goods. Ghrelin, the feed me hormone, jumps 15% while leptin, the I'm full hormone, drops by 20%. A biological conspiracy that explains why you crave carbs like they're going extinct. A 2022 Stanford study found sleep-deprived people ate 500 extra calories daily, mostly from junk food. But here's the kicker. Even if you resist temptation, your metabolism slows like a battery in power saver mode. You could eat the same meals as your well-rested self and still gain weight, because sleep deprivation makes your cells ignore insulin, the key that unlocks energy from food. Now let's talk about your brain on no sleep. Imagine your prefrontal cortex, the CEO of rational thought, getting demoted to intern while your amygdala, the drama queen of emotions, gets promoted to CEO. That's why after sleepless nights, minor irritations feel like personal betrayals. A UC Berkeley study scanned sleep-deprived brains and found the amygdala reacted 60% more intensely to negative stimuli while the rational brain checked out. Translation: ever snapped at your partner because they chewed too loud? That's not you. That's your hijacked, sleep-starved hardware. But here, where it gets scary clever, your brain starts eating itself. Literally. Italian researchers found chronic sleep loss triggers astrocytes, brain cells, to prune synapses like overzealous gardeners. A process normally reserved for detoxing. It's like your mind, desperate for energy, starts burning the furniture. No wonder the World Health Organization classified night shift work as a probable carcinogen. Disrupted sleep rhythms damage DNA repair. I witnessed this cascade with my friend Mike, a nurse working graveyard shifts. Over 6 months, he developed anxiety, acid reflux, and what he called chest hunger. A constant craving he couldn't satisfy. His blood work showed inflammation markers usually seen in smokers. Then he transferred to day shifts, prioritized sleep, and within months, his labs normalized. It turns out the graveyard shift was burying me, he joked. Yet there's radiant hope in this science. Unlike diets or exercise regimens, sleep is the ultimate democratic health tool. Free, accessible, and brutally effective. When my client Lisa fixed her sleep after years of insomnia, she didn't just lose weight. Her psoriasis cleared up and she stopped needing afternoon naps. I thought I was aging, she said. It turns out I was just exhausted. So tonight, when you're tempted to trade sleep for scrolling, remember, you're not choosing between productivity and rest. You're choosing between a body fighting against you and one fighting for you. Between cravings and clarity. Between burnout and resilience. You know that feeling when you wake up after one of those magical nights of sleep? When your muscles feel loose, your mind feels clear, and you actually spring out of bed instead of slapping the snooze button 6 times, that's not just good luck. That's deep sleep working its nighttime miracles on you. And here's the crazy part. It's not just rest. It's like your body flips a switch and becomes this incredible self-healing machine while you're blissfully unaware. dreaming about whatever weird stuff your subconscious cooks up. I didn't always appreciate deep sleep. Back when I was training for my first half marathon, I was doing everything right. Stretching, eating clean, all that jazz. But kept hitting this wall where my legs just wouldn't recover. Then I met this sports medicine specialist who took one look at my exhausted face and asked, "How much deep sleep are you getting?" I didn't even know that was something you could measure. She explained that for athletes, and really for anyone who wants their body to function well, deep sleep isn't just nice to have. It's mandatory maintenance. That night, I tried one of those sleep tracker apps. Normally, I'm skeptical about tech gadgets, but I was desperate, and the results were embarrassing. Only about 15 minutes of real deep sleep the whole night. No wonder my legs felt like lead weights. The specialist wasn't surprised. "Your muscles are literally screaming for repair time you're not giving them," she said. Here, what I've learned since then about what actually happens during those precious deep sleep hours. First off, your body releases this flood of growth hormone. And I'm not talking about the sketchy stuff bodybuilders inject. This is your natural, built-in repair crew. Scientists have found that about 75% of your daily growth hormone gets released during deep sleep. That's why kids need so much sleep. They are literally growing overnight. But adults need it just as much for muscle repair, for healing micro tears from workouts, even for keeping your bones strong. My friend Jake, who's a physical therapist, saw this firsthand with one of his clients who'd torn a rotator cuff. The guy was doing all his rehab exercises religiously, but wasn't getting better. When Jake asked about his sleep, it turned out the guy was only getting about 5 hours a night because of work stress. Once he fixed his sleep schedule, his recovery speed doubled. It's like his body finally got the overtime pay it needed to do the repairs, Jake said. And it's not just your muscles getting love during deep sleep. Your brain gets this incredible overnight cleaning service. There's this system called the glymphatic system, basically your brain's plumbing that kicks into high gear during deep sleep, flushing out all the metabolic junk that builds up during the day, including proteins that are linked to Alzheimer's. Researchers found this system works 10 times faster when you're in deep sleep compared to when you're awake. I saw the power of deep sleep in action with one of my clients, Maria, a nurse who worked night shifts. She came to me with chronic back pain that nothing seemed to help. Not chiropractors, not painkillers, nothing. When we looked at her sleep habits, it was a mess. Bright lights in the hospital, caffeine to stay awake during shifts, sleeping in a hot room during the day. We made some simple changes. Blackout curtains, no caffeine after 2 a.m., cooling her bedroom. And within 3 weeks, her pain dropped by more than half. "I thought my body was just breaking down," she told me. It turns out I was just starving it of real sleep. The wild thing is, you don't need fancy gadgets or expensive routines to get better deep sleep. Small changes make a huge difference. Keeping your bedroom cool, around 65 degrees, mimics your body's natural temperature drop at night. Eating magnesium-rich foods like spinach or nuts in the evening helps calm your nervous system. And avoiding alcohol before bed is huge, because even though alcohol might knock you out, it absolutely destroys your deep sleep cycles. One of my favorite tricks is what I call the 90-minute rule. Since sleep cycles run in about 90-minute loops, timing your wake up to the end of a cycle after 6, 7, 5 or 9 hours makes all the difference in how you feel. Waking up in the middle of deep sleep is like being yanked out of a crucial repair session. No wonder you feel groggy. Here's the bottom line that changed everything for me: deep sleep is an optional maintenance. It's like changing the oil in your car. Skip it enough times and things start breaking down. Every ache that lingers too long, every workout where you can't seem to make progress, every morning you wake up feeling more tired than when you went to bed. Your body trying to tell you something. So tonight, when you're winding down, try this. Instead of thinking, I need to go to sleep, imagine your cells whispering, we've got work to do. Oh, then let them do their thing. You might be surprised at how much better your body can feel when you give it what it's been asking for all along. And the best part, unlike dieting or grueling workouts, getting better deep sleep requires zero willpower. You don't have to count calories or drag yourself to the gym. You just have to get out of your body's way and let it do what it's evolved to do. I thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Remember to like, follow, subscribe, and do all those lovely things you wonderful people do. I'll see you next time.